Hey everybody, welcome back to my Halloween looks. Today I'm going to be starting off with out my eyebrows. If you want to see how I did that, just check out my mermaid video I posted yesterday, and I go into detail on how I did that. I'm starting off with my Mayron Paradise paints in orange, and I'm just painting that all over my face and body, getting nice and fluorescent for you. I still don't know if I like the brush that I use to do this. I might try to use a different kind of brush later when I paint my face again. I don't know, the Kabuki brush is a nice big brush, but it leaves the paint looking really streaky, and I don't get a lot of coverage. So I have to keep going back in and adding more paint, and it takes a lot longer than if it was opaque in one stroke, but maybe I just need to work on my technique a little bit. Could just be me as well. Then I'm going in with the brown, and I'm painting in some pumpkin lines. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm trying to be a jack-o'-lantern. I didn't really know how to connect my body and face because I knew that my face was going to be one pumpkin, and then I wanted it to look like my body was another pumpkin. So I decided to just paint it like two separate pumpkins, and then when I'm looking forward, you don't see my neck as much, so it just looks like two pumpkins sitting on top of each other. Then I'm going with the James Charles palette, and I'm starting off with that large pan kind of orangey brown shade in the palette, and I'm shading all of the lines that I drew in. This was a tedious process, all of this shading, but I think it was worth it at the end. I just wasn't sure if the shadow was showing up or not, so I had to keep going in with it on a brush. And here I am just lining those pumpkin lines. I started off with the lighter orange brown shade. I only used the large pan shades in the middle of the palette, and I made my way down the darker shadows in the palette, getting into the deeper browns, trying to deepen up the shadows and really make it look convincingly 3D. I tried my best anyways. I'm not super used to face painting yet. I'm trying my best, and the only way to get better is to keep doing it, right? So don't roast me too hard. Here I'm going back in with that Kabuki brush and the orange paint just because it looked like it could kind of rubbed off on my chin. And if you see me talking to somebody, my boyfriend was in the room when I was filming this, and we were having a conversation about Grey's Anatomy because he thinks it's dumb, and I would normally agree with him, but there's something about that melodrama that I just can't get enough of. And here I'm going in with a smaller brush and dipping into those darker colors, like I said, really trying to emphasize the shadows. I think I could have done a little bit better job with the blending, but I thought it looked pretty good when I was painting it. Really, if you just want to make things look really nice, you have to take a lot of time. And I guess I got a little impatient, so that's my fault. Then I'm going into my Paradise Paint palette. I believe that's the tropical one. There's a peachy orange and like a light yellow color, and I'm just going in with that shade and adding highlights to the pumpkin pieces. I go in with that orangey yellow shade, and then I go in with a little bit of the actual yellow shade. Pause for conversation. And then I made an artistic decision to make it look kind of sketchy instead of like nice and blended. So I went back in with the orange and I added some stripes in between the shades and highlights just to add texture to the pumpkin. I don't know, I thought it looked kind of nice. And I'm just going back and forth with those colors, kind of blending, kind of making it look like a watercolor painting. I didn't like how stark the highlight in the middle of my face was, so I toned it down by blending it out a little bit. And then I took the brown paint and I started to sketch in my mouth. And I was trying to make it look like, you know, a carved pumpkin, traditional jagged mouth shape. And then I was asking my boyfriend what shape eyes I should do, and he picked triangle. So there I am trying my best to make even triangle shapes over my eyes. It was really tricky to make them even because my brow bone didn't want to line up with the outer corner of my eye, so when I was painting the straight line, when I painted it, it looked straight, and then I would look forward and it would be all curved. So they got a little bit bigger than I wanted them to be, but I think it's fine for how the mouth turned out. And then I just go in and fill it all in with brown. Sharpening up some of those edges that I just kind of sketched in really quick, and evening it up a little bit. Then I took some black and I deepened up the inner portion of all the cutout sections just to add some depth to it. I went over my eyelids with the black and blended it into the brown. I think it definitely added some dimension. I think at this point the whites of my eyes look kind of creepy. Then I went in with the shadow shades that I was using for the pumpkin and went around the edges to add some shadow to the cutout pieces. And then I went in with white paradise paint and I highlighted all of the pieces on one side. Again, trying to make it look kind of three-dimensional. Tried my best. I think highlights really make things pop, so I was happy with that. And then I went in with the black and I did a shadow line on the opposite sides of all the pieces. Yeah, I don't know, I think it really added some dimension to it and made it look better. And that's the final look. I kind of wish I had black scleras so that you didn't see the whites of my eyes. And then I decided that I was going to make it bloody because blood makes everything better. So if you wanted to stop right before adding the blood, that's fine too. You could just go as a carved pumpkin. I don't know, I kind of toyed with the idea of like pumpkins bleeding when you cut them because that would be really freaky. So I added some drips of blood to all the cutout pieces, and I think it made me look, I don't know, it made me look spooky, but I think I already looked spooky, so then it was just like, I don't know. And then I added teeth blood, because if somebody was cutting the flesh off your face, I think your teeth would be bloody. I don't know. And there you go. There's my pumpkin. Here I am trying to pose. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy Halloween!